It took a heart attack to save my family. About 4 months ago, on this beach, I paddled out for my afternoon surf. And as usual, I went out beyond the lineup, sat on my board and just kind of checked in with where I was, what I was feeling. And something just was off. I just didn't feel right that day. I didn't feel that I was at my highest. And, you know, I was kind of looking at my life, and when I analyze my life, I always measure 8 areas of my life. And one of those areas, one of the most important areas, is my relationship with my family. And that day, that was the area that I knew that I was most out of balance in. So I just kind of sat there thinking about my family and, you know, where I was with them and how I'd gotten a little bit estranged from some of the members of my family. And I caught a couple of waves, went back in, dried off, and I grabbed my cell phone out of the car and looked down, and I had 3 lost phone calls from my brother. And, you know, that in and of itself is unusual, because even when my brother and I are on good terms, we might talk every 4 to 6 months. But, you know, at that moment, we weren't really on the best of terms, thanks to some kind of stupid things I had said. And so it was really, you know, it was surprising to see 3 lost calls. So I knew something must be up. Immediately I called him, and he told me that our father, our 82-year-old father, had just suffered a heart attack and was going into evaluation for open heart surgery. And they would keep me posted. Now, I called my father, I couldn't get through. And that evening, my brother called me back, and he said, this was on Thursday. He said, tomorrow, Friday, they're going to evaluate him. They think he's going to need 5 bypasses, 5 out of 6 at 82. So, I mean, I was just dumbfounded. I didn't know what to do. This is my father. I may never see him again. This is a huge surgery. So the next day, I get a phone call that they've decided to operate on him on Monday morning. So immediately, I got in my car, drove to Panama City, got a flight, and flew home. And I made it before the surgery to the hospital. And I get in there, I see my father, tubes, machines, you know, his wife sitting there, and my brother comes in, my sister comes in. And I really realized in that moment how stupid I had been for holding grudges or holding blame or guilt towards my family. I realized that one of our conversations is going to be the last conversation. One of my visits back to Nashville, Tennessee, where most of my family live, will be the last time. And I'm wasting these visits because I'm pissed off about things that really don't make a lot of sense. And so in that hospital room that day, I decided then and there that I'm just going to accept every member of my family just as they are, and I'm going to love them exactly as they are. Because if it wasn't for them being the way they are, I would not be who I am today. I'm the one that lives on this amazing beach on the Pacific Ocean and surfs every day. You know, I've always been kind of the black sheep in the family, but that's also thanks to them being who they are. And so I stayed there for a week, and for the entire week, all I focused on was giving love to my family, giving support to my family. And on the very last day, before I came back, I had an opportunity to sit down with my older sister, and she told me, she said, you know, I was talking with Mom this morning, and, you know, we've all agreed that this has been the best visit that we've had with you in many, many years. And I told her that I knew why. And I said, you know, and it's because, I know why. It's because I haven't come back trying to give anybody advice. I haven't come back trying to show people how they're wrong. And she said, yeah, you're right. And I told her, I said, Angela, I realized something. I've got coaching and mentoring clients who pay me $500 to $800 an hour to give them advice for solutions in their problems. And for the last 20 years, I've been coming home trying to give these same solutions and advice to my family for free, and nobody wants it. I said, so either one or two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to charge my family $1,000 an hour, or I'm just going to stop giving them advice and just be there and love them and support them exactly the way they are. And that one decision has changed my life immensely, immensely. In just 4 months, my relationship with my family has changed to a degree that it fills my heart with joy to know that they're there for me and I'm there for them, and all I had to do was change the way that I was telling my story. So today I want you to think about your family, and I want you to think about all of those things that you still want to say, all of those things that they still need to hear. And I want you to remember that one of these phone calls or one of these visits is going to be the last time you see them. And if you knew ahead of time it was going to be the last phone call or the last visit, what would you say to them then? That's what you need to say to them today. That's what we need to share with our family. I'm the Wisdom Surfer, dropping in on life.